Don't get me wrong, I think the stock exhaust of the 392 is fantastic. As a matter of fact, the first time I heard one, I knew I had to have one. Jeep did a great job of balancing the throaty growl of a V8 without being annoying and without droning. And you also have the active valve system so that you can quiet the exhaust down when you're on those long freeway drives. Now, as is often the case, I just could not leave well enough alone and began looking for a way to take the exhaust note on the 392 to the next level. But I did not want to give up all of the positive attributes associated with the stock exhaust. And that's what led me to the MRT H pipe. There are quite a few aftermarket exhaust systems now available for the 392, and I spent a lot of time researching, checking into those different options. I watched the video reviews, but when I stumbled upon the MRT modification, I gave the guys at the shop a call. They talked me through the benefits associated with the H-pipe, and it seemed like the perfect solution for me. So with the MRT H-pipe solution, you remove the stock mid-pipe and resonator, replace it with the MRT pipe, and it provides a noticeable improvement of exhaust note and sound upon acceleration and upon startup. If you want an obnoxiously loud exhaust system for your 392, this is not the solution for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. I love those. I'm jealous of those, but I don't know that I could live with one of those. And that's why the MRT for me was the perfect solution. When you're driving the Jeep calmly, there's not a noticeable difference between stock. I do think there is a difference, more in tone than in loudness. But I got to tell you, when you get on the skinny pedal, this thing really opens up and it sounds downright mean. I love it. And with the MRT H-pipe, cold starts are ridiculous. Unfortunately, for my neighbor, they are obnoxious. I mean, it's great. Like everything, there are pros and there are cons to the H-pipe exhaust modification. The first pro is the cost. This is a fraction of the price of a full exhaust system. And if you can do it yourself in your own garage, you can save even more money. I drove over to the MRT shop, had these guys put it on the lift and do it the right way, and I still feel like I got great value and bang for the buck. Another pro of this system is that you can go back to stock at any point in time in the future if you choose to do so. Just save the stock mid-pipe and resonator. If you want to trade the Jeep in, if you want to sell the Jeep, whatever you want to do, you can go back to stock within a matter of a few hours. Another benefit of this system in my mind is that you retain the factory active exhaust valve component. So you still have the ability to push that little button on the dash if you want to quiet things down. As far as cons go, there's only a few in my mind, and the biggest con for me is that I don't gain any ground clearance. At some point in time, I will either need to armor this muffler or I will risk smashing this muffler. And that was one of the reasons that I was looking for aftermarket exhaust system for the 392. Another con of this system is that it is not a performance upgrade per se. You will not notice any horsepower gains or improvement in throttle response by doing the MRT H-pipe modification. I've had the MRT H-pipe installed in the Jeep for about a month now, so these observations are relatively fresh. I will periodically post updates to the YouTube channel as I continue to drive the Jeep, and I'll let you know if I notice any difference in decibel levels of the exhaust, any changes in performance of the Jeep, or fuel mileage, but my initial impressions are really positive, and I would recommend this to anyone who wants to take the exhaust of the 392 to the next level without taking the exhaust note of the 392 to the obnoxious level. And while I've only had the H-pipe installed in the Jeep for a month now, during that month, we took an 8.5-hour road trip down to Windrock, Tennessee. We wheeled the Jeep several days at Windrock, and then we drove 8.5 hours back to Michigan. I was really impressed with the system during that trip. At no time was the system obnoxious or droning. It was nice to be able to push that quiet button on the dash for those long freeway runs. But then when I got into traffic, you know what they say, loud pipes save lives. I could open up the exhaust valves, and if I got into the skinny pedal, this thing did not disappoint. If there's anything that I didn't cover in the video that you want to know more about, feel free to leave questions in the comments section. I'll check in periodically and answer as best I can. Or better yet, just call these guys at MRT. I had a great experience there. Anyhow, like, subscribe, tell all your Jeep fanatic friends about the channel. Take care.